Hey everyone, Mark Russo here, and today I'm going to help you get better from 30 to 100 yards with your wedges. If you're laying the sod over it, if you're blading it over the green, if you can't ever get it close to the pin, I want to help you understand how to address your wedges, how to choose the right club, what kind of trajectory, so you can make better strikes, get the ball closer to the pin more often, and make more pars and hopefully more birdies. Let's do it. Okay, welcome in everyone. So today is wedge day for us, scoring wedges we'll call it. And how we're defining it just for today's discussion is we're cutting the line off at 30 yards. And there's a little bit of blur there, but 30 yards and in, I'll teach some different techniques, a few different things. But let's talk today about 30 yards out to 100 yards, or for some of you, maybe further than that for wedges, depending on how far you hit it. The biggest thing I see with people is their inability to understand how to approach wedges differently than a full swing. So let's talk a little bit first about some rules that I want you to follow. Some of my regular students will know some of these quite well. First off, if you carry 3 wedges aside from your pitching wedge, your highest lofted wedge, you are not allowed to hit it further than 75% of your maximum effort, okay? Your sand wedge or your next one up, 90%. And then your gap wedge can be a full swing club, okay? And you can do multiple things with it. The reason we want to have those numbers or those guidelines for you is because we never want to make full swings with those 2 highest lofted wedges, because the ball is going to take off too high and is too difficult to control trajectory and distance, okay? Plus, when we make full swings, we have a tendency to bring strike quality down, okay? So the first thing we're going to say is manage your energy levels with your wedges, no full swings, okay? Now, how do we set up for wedges? Typically, when I watch a student set up for a wedge and I say, hey, let's work on our wedges today, hit me a 75-yard shot. Oftentimes what I'm going to see is this look. They'll set up and they'll look like they are hitting a full 7-iron, okay? To me, that is not the way we want to set up for these shots, given that we're trying to have the highest quality strike and control the distance very accurately. Remember, we're closer to the green, so we're trying to get the ball as close as possible, okay? So setting up for a full shot or a full power swing is not what we want here. So let's talk through how you should be setting up for your scoring wedges, okay? First off, foot distance. We're probably gonna be a little bit narrower here, okay? To start. As I work out into a bigger shot, I will probably get a little bit wider, but first off, we're gonna be a touch narrower, and we're gonna say front foot, my left foot here, 60% of my weight's gonna work on that foot. We're gonna stay there. So even though I may set up to it and turn, I'm always gonna be feeling like my pressure stays about 60% on my left side, okay? It's gonna ensure a little bit of a cleaner strike for us, okay? The other thing is I want you to have a sense of where the middle of your chest and your nose and head are relative to the ball. For these shots right now, we're gonna play the ball in the middle of our stance. I would not want you moving the ball way back in your stance. Strike quality goes down severely there for most people when they hit these shots. So let's just keep it middle for now, and we'll work on specialty shots later. Different video, okay? We're gonna put 60% here, but when we set up, I'm gonna always feel like the center of my body and my head are more on the front half of the ball. If I'm hitting a 7-iron, my feet are wider, and where's my head? It's on the back half of the ball, okay? So we want you to feel like you are more into the forward side, and I'm covering with my chest, if you will, a little bit forward of the golf ball. And I'm gonna work over top of that golf ball the whole time. Why do we do this? Because we want to keep the trajectory of the ball flight down. Typically, good players hit 30 to 50-yard shots at a 30-degree launch angle, very low. And then as the shots get bigger, certainly the ball gets higher, but their ball flight comes down much, much more than most of you will do when you hit these shots. So we're gonna control the speed of the swing and how we hit these shots through first setting up correctly. So first thing, 60-40, head and everything on the front side. From there, we'll get the ball out of here for 1 second. We're gonna start to get you to feel like your arms are long and your upper arms are connected to the front of your chest a little bit more, okay? Are we rigid? Absolutely not, okay? but we want to have your arms connected. And we're going to get to a drill shortly on how to work on that, an old school drill that works great. And what we're going to start to feel is, we're going to feel those arms swing, but I'm going to drive the bus with my rotation of my center, okay? So when we make a backswing, I'm turning well and through, I'm going to drive the bus with my rotation. And on the follow through, I want you to notice where I am here. Many of my students, because they're making full swings, are making swings where the club is wrapped around their head trying to hit a 60-yard wedge shot. Nobody good does that, so let's stop doing that. The reason they do that is because they're making full passes at it, their body is situated in an incorrect way it's set up, and the club is passing them, and now the ball balloons and they can't control distance. Watch the best players. Rotation, shorter, compact follow-throughs, okay? So we want you to feel like your arms and the club are extended away from you a little bit more. If I hit a 50-yard shot, I might be here. As the ball goes further, I'm gonna go wider, but I'm never gonna have the club wrapped around my head. So we're gonna make sure that the body rotation wins the race here, okay? So let's start with weight left, arms connected, head and torso a little bit more on the front half of the ball here, okay? So we're gonna make sure that we rotate through the shot. My arms are extended, okay? Ball flies a little bit on the lower side. And what we've done here too is we've put this pool noodle and sticks out here to sort of illustrate and give you an idea of a lower flight gate to start the ball on. Many of my students will look at this and say, man, I don't think I can keep the ball under that. Well, that's a problem to me. So we want to make sure that you can rotate the body and drive the ball in a little bit lower, okay? Lower penetrates through the wind. Windy day today, got to keep the ball down. So let's talk about how to do it, some drills, some ways to practice. First, old school drill. I got my one of about 14 of these I own, caddy towels. And what we're gonna do is, nice long towel, and we're gonna put this up under the arms. Now a couple things about this deal, okay? First off, we're not pinning our elbows, okay? Our elbows should be free. I want you to feel like your arms are up on front of your chest. My elbows are free, but I've got this tucked under my armpits. Now, for many of you, this is going to be really uncomfortable at the start. So my advice to you first is start easy. Make some practice swings. Don't even put the ball in, okay? So let's start there. Set up and let's feel some rotation. Turn the towel, let your arms swing. Brush the ground, follow through. Keep the towel connected, okay? If this is hard for you, you're used to having your arms disconnect and making full swings, and this synchronization that the towel's creating is hard for you. So let's do the job first without the ball, okay? So rotate, hit the ground, follow through, okay? Then, when you're ready, and look, I'm gonna put it on the ground here. If you're working off grass to practice and you wanna do this and you wanna put it on a low tee, do it, it's okay. Make it easier first. You can make it harder later when we play golf, okay? So let's walk through that setup again one more time, okay? Feet are a little closer. Weight and head are on the left side. Let the arms swing as I turn the towel, okay? Okay? Good flight there. Tugged it slightly, but it was right on line. Struck it cleanly, and the flight was down, okay? Again, there's a rhythm to this, okay? That's really, really important to understand with a towel. If you're getting too quick, too jerky, too long, this is gonna be difficult for you, okay? So put a little rhythm in it. Count it out if you need to. 1, 2, 3. Put some rhythm in it. Strike the ground, add the ball, okay? One other thing I just wanna mention here is wedge fitting. Many of you are incorrectly fit for the wedges that you carry in your bag. My advice to you is go to see someone who has hopefully ground to hit off of and get fit for your wedges. When I fit for people, what I'm looking at is how they interact with the ground. What sounds are they making, okay? Do they hit it fat too often? What's your miss? Those questions need to be asked and answered so you have the best fit. Loft is the easiest part of this deal. Fitting the grind and the bounce, all of the little bit more complicated pieces, is super important, as well as the lie angle here, okay? So my advice to you as a part of this whole deal, getting better at scoring wedges, is get fit from a qualified fitter who knows what they're doing and hopefully can have you hit off the ground, okay? And your contact levels can go way up. Putting it all together for you. Weight left, chest and head forward. We're gonna make sure that we are rotating the torso back and through with extended and long arms. And one last piece for you. How do we learn to control distance? I want you to learn how to control distance through speed of the torso, okay? We're not necessarily doing a clock system. So if you don't have a measuring device, I'm a TrackMan guy, I hit on TrackMan every day, so it's really easy. But if you don't have a measuring device, here's how I want you to do it at your local range. Find a target on the range, say we'll call it a 50-yard flag. Choose your appropriate club, your highest lofted or your sandwich, whichever you want to use. Hit a bunch of shots and get quality contact every time, and get dropping balls in and around that flag in a reasonable distance, okay? Inside, say 25 feet, okay? That'd be great. Then what I want you to do is use that as what I call a calibration point. Once you have that down, now start to hit something 10 yards past, 10 yards short, and start to then randomly hit shots to either random flags or random balls or anything out on the range. And get good at changing speeds through impact. That ball would have gone further. All I did was turn the torso faster or shorter. Play leapfrog on the range and go back and forth. I promise you, if you learn first off how to set up, you have some rules or guidelines that you adhere to with your wedges, and don't go crazy with hitting them as hard as you can and as high as you can. I promise you, with the right fitting as well, you're gonna get much, much better at these. And your goal should be at least start to hit the green almost every time with these, and then you can work on dialing it in a little bit closer. But contact above all else, then you'll get your distance control much easier. I hope this helps. We'll see you on the lesson tee.